So Black Friday 2022, we're expecting a huge sales period for our clients. I think we're on target to be doing probably around between $5 to $10 million, depending on how the offers go for this year's clients. And I'm here to share our Black Friday, Cyber Monday strategy. We're going to talk like more macro strategy at first. And then I'm going to dive into, because I've created like two separate strategies, one which is more aggressive and then the other is more conservative, right? And I'll give you guys the exact criterias on how to kind of go about these strategies in terms of picking which ones is most suited to your brand specifically. And yeah, I mean, we're going to dive into exact timelines, how many emails you're going to be sending. I'm also going to be touching on exactly what you're going to be wanting to test in other channels of your traffic also. So quick disclaimer, right? I am trying to, by creating this piece of information and putting out there, is we would love to work with you guys on your accounts, right? So if you're a brand that's doing 50,000 a month or more, all the way up to around kind of like 100 million a year, feel free to book in a call with me down below. We'd love to crush it this Black Friday for you guys. Now, this is a general template, right? And you need to customize it based on your own timelines, based on your offers, promotions, things along those lines, right? So just to give you a quick overview, most brands are going to be starting quite early this year from a promotional standpoint. You're going to see that a lot of more of the aggressive discount brands out there, they would have already promoted and tested offers early on in this year. I don't know if you've been targeted, but there are brands literally out there running ads that were saying like Black Friday in June, and that was used to basically test various offers and messaging to see which performs really well in preparation for their Black Friday. So in terms of what we're doing from a preparatory standpoint, right, between August and October, we're using flash sales to kind of like test various offers for the brands that we're working with. So flash sales just means like between 24 hours to kind of like 48 hours, we're just pumping out a bunch of offers to see kind of like what really resonates and split testing it with kind of like various other offers, right? So when it comes to the way in which we go about this, we obviously, for the bigger brands that we work with, we don't just like run flash sales to the whole list, right? Because that's a bit crazy. Instead, what we do is for brands that are doing 8 figures or more, we would just use certain segments of their list, create a 50% random sample, so split it into 2 as test groups for the offers. That way, you know, you don't lose out on a ton of profit by sending it out to the entire list, but you still have a sizable enough test so that you know which offers kind of like hit the most that you should promote during Black Friday. One thing is, we try to make sure, and if you're an agency watching this, which I'm guessing some of you are, right? You need to have assets and designs ready by October, at least the initial versions and the first drafts. Just because, like, honestly, if you have a ton of clients, November is a huge, like, friction point, right, in the year, because there's always going to be last minute changes coming your way. And, you know, you're really required to put your best foot forward during that month. So one thing that we're doing this year to kind of like mitigate the amount of information that's going to be lost is we're basically going to be working 1 month ahead of time and trying to prepare all of the designs by November 1st so that we're kind of like ready to start. Now, on the brand side, so if you're a brand watching this, several things you need to make sure you have dialed in. Number 1 is your stock levels. Understand the sales velocity on your top products. This is stupidly crucial because right now, obviously because I'm Chinese, so I have kind of like a bit of a unique insight into this because I have family back in China. Supply chain delays are serious this year, right? So expect suppliers to kind of like delay shipments, either because, I don't know, the health code got turned red or something in their specific city and they have to isolate whatever. Yes, like C19 is still a problem in China right now. Make sure to expect and factor in supply chain delays and get your lead times very clear and also include buffer room. Quite a common mistake that brands make is trying to use Black Friday, Cyber Monday as an opportunity to get rid of the unwanted products or products with low sales velocity and products without proven product market fit, right? This is the thing that I see brands get screwed on the hardest, right? They think that because it's a sale period, they're just going to discount the things that nobody wanted in the first place really aggressively, hoping it sells. Now, This doesn't work, and the reason why is you're essentially competing with every single other D2C brand that month that's trying to extract revenue from the same customers, right? So if you're discounting stuff without proven product market fit, you're just going to be outcompeted by the next D2C brand that the consumer is interested in, even if they're not a direct competitor, by the way. Like, you know, someone could only have $150 to spend during that month, and they get to pick where to put their money to, right? So your offer needs to be great, and also you want to be pushing the products with the highest sales velocities to achieve the best results. So when it comes to the actual November time period, right, that's going to be covered in the macro strategy and also the micro strategies. Sorry, the two micro strategy variations I'm going to have. So let's just skip to post Black Friday, Cyber Monday and talk about that real quick, right? So generally speaking in D2C, December is a pretty quiet month unless you're a highly giftable brand. So if you are in the highly giftable category, get ready for round 2. But for most regular brands, what you want to do is you want to dial back on promotions, drop the sending volumes from an email perspective. You can extend Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales, but I don't recommend extending it past December 1st, just because that's more of a Christmas angle. And what you're also going to see is you're going to see a massive drop off in the effectiveness of your campaigns. And what you're going to be wanting to do is, if you're not working with a reputable email agency like my own, right, you're going to be wanting to dial down the frequency of your emails, because what's going to happen is if you've sent a ton of emails during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, your deliverability would have taken a hit. There's no real way around it because you're just sending so many emails, right? So you want to dial it back, use a smaller engaged segment, build up your deliverability and your sender reputation again, right? So for the month of December, I'd be targeting highly engaged segments such as like VIPs, engaged last 60 days, and things along those lines, because November, you honestly just do send a ton of emails, right? So let's actually dive into what should happen during the month of November and all the various kind of like criteria. So just as a general note, right, I've created 2 strategies. One, I've called it the aggressive approach, and then the other is a conservative approach. But essentially, what it really boils down to is in the aggressive approach, you start your sales early and you end it late. And in the more conservative approach, you start your sales mid-November-ish and you end on like 30th of November, kind of like at the very end of the month, right? So in terms of brands, what you'll tend to see is a lot of brands will start their promotions mid-October, probably some of your competitors as well. Now, this is not always the right choice for brands. So if you see your direct competitor starting their promotions mid-October, don't just FOMO in and start the sales ASAP because your competitors are doing it. You got to step back for a moment and evaluate like if this is the right choice for your brand, right? So in terms of like the guidelines I would give, just as a decision-making framework on whether you want to choose to adopt the aggressive strategy or the more conservative approach, is for the aggressive strategy, number one, your product needs to have high impulse purchasability, I guess. I don't know if purchasability is a word, but you need to have impulse purchase products, right? These are the products that if the right offer comes along, it's attractive and it's viral enough for people to just make that purchasing decision on the dot, right? So generally speaking, impulse purchase is highly correlated with the average order value of the store, right? So for example, some of the brands that we work with a lower average order value, I'm talking like between 15 to kind of like $20, right? 20 up to $25-ish dollars-ish. They are super impulse purchase heavy, and they have their store conversion rate is honestly like 8%, right? So that type of brand is way more suited for a more aggressive strategy, rather than something that's super high AOV where the sales cycle is longer and you just need to take a bit more consideration when buying, right? Number 2 for the aggressive strategy is if you're in a highly competitive space. So for example, supplements could be one of them. if you're not highly differentiated in your product. And obviously, you know, when I say highly differentiated, really be honest with yourself, because a lot of founders, what ends up happening is they kind of have a bit of an ego around their products, thinking that they're highly differentiated. In reality, it's just kind of like Me Too products, but with a different packaging, right? So make sure if you're in a high competition space, you might want to consider adopting a more aggressive strategy. Again, another thing that's kind of related to impulse purchasing and average order values, you want to think about the price elasticity of demand, your PED ratio basically for your target demographic. So what I mean by this is, if you're highly price elastic, meaning that, you know, people are judging your product a lot based on the price, like making their purchasing decision a lot based on the price, then you might want to go for a more aggressive approach, right? In terms of the conservative approach, and this is where it's not always right to FOMO in just because FOMO into starting your sales just because you see your competitors doing it, is if you have high brand loyalty, right? So for example, a lot of fashion brands, they have a lot of brand loyalty. Like, I don't know, like Represent Clothing, for example. If you have super high brand loyalty, don't damage it and start your sales early, right? The demand is going to be there because you've built that equity and that relationship with your customers. For example, you don't see Louis Vuitton starting their sales, I don't know, a month ahead of time just because they're trying to compete with Chanel on offers, right? Don't hurt your brand for the sake of short-term revenue if you have a highly loyal customer base. Number two is if your product is highly differentiated, basically the opposite of high competition, right? You're low competition because you're in a differentiated space. And also go for a more conservative approach if your product is not in the impulse buy category. So for example, furniture, right, is not super impulse buy, or stuff like, I don't know, basically stuff that's really expensive. Generally speaking, it's normally a bigger life decision. So if someone's truly committed to buying from you guys, they're not gonna start buying a lot earlier just because you have the offer on right now. So, you know, a more conservative approach would be more suited to you guys. So let's talk about the aggressive strategy first, and then we'll go over the conservative. Because the aggressive strategy is basically the conservative strategy, but with like 50% more of stuff tacked on. In the aggressive approach, you're gonna wanna start promotions ASAP, right? By ASAP, I don't mean like, you know, October 1st. I mean like more so November 1st, right? Black month. And also for both strategies, you want to make sure to exclude anyone who purchased in the last days from all campaigns, because what's going to happen is, let's say you have your Black Friday sale and someone bought just before that, like the week before, they're going to see, oh fuck, well this brand just discounted like 40% off their products or 30%, something ridiculous, right? And I paid the full price, right? They might be inclined to return it, things along those lines. You just don't want to get into that. So every single campaign that you send out, make sure to exclude people who have bought in the last 30 days, okay? So let's actually dive into it, right? So in preparation of this, you're gonna wanna have two offers. One offer is gonna be a good offer that you know converts with your audience, and offer two is gonna be a beast of offer, and it's gonna be the highest offer, highest converting offer you have tested to date, right? So during this week, last week of October, you're going to be wanting to send 1 to 2 emails max teasing and announcing the sale, right? So what the messaging of that is going to be something along the lines of, hey, get ready for our Black Friday to start on Monday or like the following week, right? Really excited, best offer of the year. You know, we're expected to sell out on this, this, and this, that kind of stuff, right? Really building up that hype, countdown timers on when the sales start and things along those lines. From an agency side, we try to sync our efforts with other promotional stuff from the client side. So for example, if they have ad campaigns starting to run at a specific time, we would kind of like coordinate our campaigns with that. And also if they have any big influencers shouting them out and stuff, we would also coordinate that. Pretty much the goal is to make your list aware that you're having a big sale at X day on X time, right? And the idea of having two offers ready to go is basically some people don't necessarily need the best offer in order to purchase from you, which is again why we exclude everyone who buys from us in the last 30 days. Because if someone buys on offer 1, you don't want them to be seeing offer 2, right? So The idea is kind of like discount laddering a little bit in the sense that, you know, some people would convert with the 10% discount, so there's no need to send them the 20, right? That's the entire idea. Now, first week, that's when promotions start. So between November 1st to the end of that week, essentially it's going to be between 2 to 3 emails talking about the sale, spacing them out between 2 to 3 days apart each, right? You don't want to bombard your list straight away with daily emails in the first week of November, simply because you're just going to be oversending pretty much, right? So the key in the first week's email is you want to keep the messaging simple, and the offer you're conveying here needs to be very, very clear. And all your emails should be just sell the click, sell the click, sell the click. Now, the important thing to understand is offer one is only the bait offer, right? It's going to be the thing that converts quite a lot of your list already, but it's not going to be that beast of an offer that's going to convert everyone who's kind of on the fence, right? Campaigns in week 2, you're going to want to add some urgency and introduce bits of scarcity into that offer, right? So again, 2 to 3 campaigns promoting offer 1, but you might want to introduce something like, hey, this Black Month offer, you might want to not call it Black Month, but like this Black Month offer ends on Sunday. You know, get it while you can. You might want to include bits about unique selling points of the products that you're promoting, maybe incorporating some social proof. Again, right, you gotta make sure that you are promoting the high sales velocity products, because you're competing with every single D2C brand out there that's also targeting your target demographic. You're not just competing with, I don't know, if you're a supplement brand that sells vitamin C, you're not competing with other vitamin C brands. You gotta understand that you are competing with every single brand that someone who wants to take vitamin C might be interested in. So you might be competing with, I don't know, like even like protein brands, right, that have nothing to do with your niche, but someone who takes supplements might also want to consider that supplement. So your competition has just broadened up quite a lot because everyone has a limited amount of money to spend, right? So bring in bits about social proof about your top sellers, things along those lines, that converts incredibly well. In terms of week 3, this is when the offer 2 starts, right? So once offer 1 ends, you're going to keep on sending campaigns talking about the second offer, and this is going to be the main offer, right? So let's say, for example, just to keep it simple, if you're offering a 10% discount, you're going to be wanting to offer 20 here, right? Obviously, you might not want to make it that linear, but you get the idea. Again, in week 3, 2 to 3 campaigns talking about the sales, spacing them out 2 to 3 days apart. Again, the key thing here is basically what you did in week 1. Keep the messaging simple, convey the offer. You can even create VIP emails that is specifically targeting repeat buyers, for example, or high spenders with the store. Converts exceptionally well. Basically, the messaging would be something along the lines of, hey, by the way, super secret offer just for you VIPs, because, you know, we appreciate the support that you have shown to the business in the past, stuff like that, right? Again, make sure to exclude VIPs from normal emails if you're sending the VIP emails, and also make sure to exclude the people who have bought in the last 30 days. Now, week 4 of Black Friday, this is going to be the same offer, but different angle, right? You're going to want to be like, Black Friday is here, hype everything up, urgency, offer ends Friday midnight, go get it now, right? So this week, you're going to want to have one email on Monday or Tuesday, right? Promoting this offer, announcing it, such and such, right? And by Friday, you want to be sending another email. Maybe you want to send it on Thursday and boosting it on Friday. It's kind of entirely up to you guys. But yeah, typically between between 2 to 3 emails Monday to Friday. And then the weekend, this is where the angle again pivots. It's like, hey, Black Friday just ended, Black Friday weekend. So you can either position it as like Black Friday weekend or Black Friday extended, anything along those lines, right? Ending Sunday, again, urgency, urgency, urgency. You might want to send some boosters here and there also on these days. And obviously Monday, you're going to be pivoting all the way to the Cyber Monday angle. Or again, you could just say Black Friday extended here, right? But essentially, it's going to be one email on Saturday/Sunday, and you're going to want to consider boosters, the emails for these days also. Now, Cyber Monday, this is going to be the final week of the sale, right? Towards the end of November, you're going to have one email on Monday last chance. This is serious. Like, we're not kidding here, right? Like, Cyber Monday is going to come to an end. You could also extend Cyber Monday, but I really don't recommend extending past, again, end of November, right? So for our clients personally, we're not really planning to extend past 30th of November, just because that kind of goes into the Christmas period. And, you know, obviously, we've already sent a ton of emails already. So let's just cover the conservative strategy real quick. Basically, in this conservative approach, you're going to only start promotions on week 3 or 4, and you're going to dive into your best offer straight away, right? You're not going to want to have offer 1 at all. And it's basically in week 3, 2 to 3 campaigns talking about the sale. You can even announce it in week 2 with 1 to 2 campaigns, similar to the strategy that we went over here, right, for the last week of October. Again, you want to keep the messaging simple, because the idea is if you're going after a more conservative audience, your list is going to see discounts less, generally speaking anyways, and they're going to, you know, just click through to the website and purchase from there. So this has to be, by the way, the best offer you've tested. I've seen brands that give, like, I don't know, 10% off during this period, and they just flop. Like, it doesn't work, because you're no longer competitive with the market, unless you're the type of brand that never gives discounts, right? In which case, you know, even a small percentage would do. You want to keep the messaging simple, convey the offer, sell the click. And again, you might want to create some VIP segments. This is basically a copy and paste of week 3 right here, down here, except with offer 2 pivoted to the main offer, right? Pretty much, again, Black Week, same thing, you know, Black Friday is here, come get yours, ending Friday midnight, yada, yada, yada. You're going to want to extend it throughout the weekend. This is kind of like a norm now, so it doesn't really harm your brand reputation just because it's almost expected at this point. And you're going to want to end sales Monday midnight, right? Again, you could extend it, but if you're going at it from the conservative angle, you definitely want to, well, I would recommend you guys at least end it on Monday midnight. So when it comes to the very conservative, you might not even want to start your offer the 3rd week, right? You might want to actually start it on Black Week, in which case, you know, week 3, you would just send out a couple emails hyping the sale, telling everyone about it, saying how stuff like, I don't know, you know, your site might crash because it's not designed to handle so much volume. Last year, you know, we sold out in the first 2 hours, right? Like, that's this kind of stuff that's really going to build hype. You can also talk about how we've ordered a bit of extra inventory, but we're still expected to sell out because of supply chain issues. Essentially, when you're going for the conservative approach, I just love to be transparent with the audience, right? Because even with one brand that I have equity in now, like, what we've seen to work the best is when we are literally just super honest about the capacity and the order volume that we can handle on a daily basis, right? So for example, the brand that I have equity in right now is like a custom jewelry business, right? And we can only produce a certain limit of orders on a daily basis, and conveying that to customers and showing them the manufacturing process converts really well. So I like to be just transparent. So if you're potentially going to be facing stock issues, be honest with your audience, just being like, hey, look, you know, we've ordered extra this year, but because of delays with our suppliers, you know, we're still expected to sell out. So make sure if you really want to grab a piece from us, you know, hit that link in bio on this day at this time to really guarantee your order. Stuff like that, right? So pretty much that's the angle that I would go with, and this is the template strategy that we have for the brands that we work with. We do tailor it a little bit per brand. So if you're a brand and you know, you're not really sure which direction to pick, you want a free strategy call with me, feel free to book it down below. It is going to be a sales call, but again, you know, I will provide you with a more clarity around how you should organize and structure this sale. So yeah, brands 50K a month or more, link down below. If you're an email marketer and you want to learn from me, I actually have a course, again, link in the description. Thank you guys for watching. See ya.